Welcome to NTRTND, your primary source for music, movies, TV, and sports.
All right, what's up, everybody? We're back with another episode of the Are You Entertained podcast. Want to give a fair warning out there. This episode contains everything you need to know in music, movies, TV, and sports, sprinkled in with a little deep-ass political talk. I know my boy Brandon likes that, so stay woke. I'm Trey, Alessio, alongside Brandon Ogden in the iHeart Studios. As always, go to Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, SoundCloud, iTunes. Search for us. We're there. Follow, subscribe, sign your life away. Do what you got to do. Tell your friends. Content on content on content, baby. This one's jam-packed with a lot of shit, so let's get right into it. Brandon, what up, though?
How you doing?
I'm good, man. How are you? It's been every time I feel like the 2-week hiatus kind of, it seems long, but it's not been that long.
Yeah.
But, I mean, how you been in the 2-week little span?
Good. I feel like we have to address one elephant in the room.
Uh-oh.
And that is that last night, both of us struck out in slow pitch softball.
Yeah. You at least made contact with the ball. You foul tipped it.
Yeah.
I completely struck out.
Was trying to hit a home run because I was very frustrated. And I ended up, I could see all of the action that was going on the field behind us because I took my eye off the ball.
you whiffed and looked the other way?
I did. It was bad. But also, I will say what separated us last night was bases loaded, 2 outs, and my guy here drops an easy-ass pop fly at first base.
It was weird, though. Like, it was, like, in slow motion, and I was like, all right, this is a piece of cake. But the, like, spin on the ball tripped me out.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
Dropped it.
Yeah.
Anyways, it was like 6-2 or 6-4 at that point, and they ended up scoring like 9 more runs.
Yeah, it ended up being like 11 to whatever we had. Yeah.
So I'm not going to say you cost us the game, but
there was one error before me, too, right? Joe Bell?
Yeah.
Give a little shout-out to our boy Joe Bell. He dropped a pop fly right in front of home
and
plate.
Shout-out Colin Miller with a game-winning walk-off base hit.
Yeah, that was clutch.
Anyways, had to address that.
Yeah, good times. Yeah, no, I felt like a dipshit when I struck out. I don't know if it's even physically. See, I don't even really consider yours a strikeout because it was foul tip. But
it was barely a tip.
But still, you nicked it. Yeah, I just completely whiffed. Yeah, pretty bad out of me. But you got to do what you got to do. Let's get into the good stuff. A lot of talk about, like I said, this one, we got to address what happened. We're not sticking to sports, we got to talk about what happened there. Let's start off with movies and TV first, though. So the biggest thing in the movie headlines for me, just because I'm really hype about this, Mike Tyson reportedly confirmed Jamie Foxx will play him in an upcoming biopic. The movie is also rumored to be directed by none other than the greatest, Martin Scorsese, and written by Terrence Winter. He is the writer of Wolf of Wall Street, Sopranos, Boardwalk Empire, etc., so has a lot of potential. This is all rumor right now. Nothing has been completely confirmed. But Tyson told the Jasmine brand, filming hasn't started yet, but it's going to happen. A lot of people aren't going to like the things I've done in my life. And I have a clip that I really want to play. This just gets me so hype. I want to get your reactions on this. So let's check this out right now.
Let me give you the opening of the movie. The camera is high, but not as high as the heavens, just above the trees, and it's snaking through New York. Somewhere in New York, and it's cold, and people are on their way to work. It's just one camera, and you hear focus mitts being hit in the distance, and it's capturing regular day, blue-collar people, you know what I'm saying, in the hood. It's just regular, people on their way somewhere, and then we get up to this boxing gym. We see the doors, and the camera stops, and you hear the doors open magically. Camera snakes in, and we see in the distance a hulking figure holding focus mitts and a little kid hitting the mitts. And you hear the kid asking the hulking figure, "My dad said you were amazing. My dad said you was one of the best. You was boss. You was this, you was that." And you hear the person's voice, "Don't worry about what your dad said. Just throw the right. Make sure you keep your left though. You get your head knocked off." And as the camera gets closer, you see that it's now Mike Tyson. "No, but my dad said, I'm going to tell you one time, don't say anything about your dad. I don't care. That was back in the day. Just throw the left, and when you shoot the right, shoot it with authority. Shoot like you mean it. and he throws it right, and he hits Mike, and Mike acts like he's falling in super slow motion. And when he hits the ground, ding, 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 he's back at the last fight. He got knocked out. And he's he's there. And as you see him, the last fight, he's on the ground, and he rests back on the ropes, and he sees everybody talking shit. Everybody saying, "Get up, Mike." Some people saying, "You a bum." Some people saying all the things that people were saying, because we were split at that time. And he rests back on the rope, spits his mouthpiece out, and it goes calm. And you just hear, and he's saying, "I'm done with all of this." And all of a sudden, just as we relax into that moment, the ref comes up, 1, 2.
Yeah.
And we flash back to the young Mike Tyson. That's how it opened.
So
Yo, when's this come out, though? We ain't got a release date?
It's coming.
We ain't got a release date? It's coming.
All right. So what do you think about that?
It's just crazy, man. That you could almost visualize it as he was talking about it. Like it sounded that good.
Yeah.
And then the way his voice sounded, I mean, it was Mike Tyson.
It was
Mike Tyson.
He has
Mike.
the voice down.
He does.
It's crazy.
It's crazy.
My whole thing was basically nothing is really set in stone. Nothing is concrete here. Nothing has been officially confirmed. So from that, I have to think there's at least a script running, like floating around somewhere, because that is too visual. That's too in depth, too detailed to just make up. You know what I mean?
And it's honestly too good.
It is.
Like you couldn't ask, I think, for like a better opening scene than right there. So
oh my god, I can't wait.
Yeah, there's got to be something for sure coming, and that'll be dope.
The fact that it is potentially Martin Scorsese, oh my god.
Yeah.
Mike Tyson, Martin Scorsese, Jamie Foxx. That description, I think it has the potential to be one of the greatest fucking sports movies ever. Oh man, I'm super hyped about that. So, I mean, anything else there? I mean, do you think it has potential to be up there with one of the best boxing movies, and if not, one of the best sports movies? Just based off the description, based on the surrounding parts.
Yeah, obviously, there's a lot that has to come to fruition for
Definitely.
any of it to even consider all that. But it's got all of the the pieces for it to be right up there with the Rocky IV.
Hell yeah.
As far as boxing goes.
Are you a southpaw or a Creed guy? They came out around the same time.
I like them both. I thought Creed was better than southpaw.
Okay.
But I mean, that mainly because of the storylines of the Rocky series and how they found a way to continue that. So I mean, southpaw wasn't bad, but southpaw to me was like the cliche boxing movie, if you know what I mean. I mean, Rocky kind of was too, in a sense.
Yeah, but they started it all.
Right.
I would say, have you seen Raging Bull?
I have not.
I've seen
the other
bits
one I
and
haven't
pieces.
seen is Ali with Will Smith. I do want to see that.
I haven't seen all of that either. I've seen bits and pieces of both of them, but I do know Martin Scorsese directed Raging Bull.
That's De Niro, right?
That is De Niro, and it's Pesci. He has a thing for boxing movies. I believe he was a producer on Bleed for this, and that was the what's his name, Paz. And it was Miles Teller. Mm-hmm. Actually, a really good movie.
Paz is supposed to come on the podcast to discuss.
He shouted me out on Twitter, but he never got back to me if he would come on. So we did ask him, but we're still fucking waiting. So yeah, Martin Scorsese and boxing movies, they go hand in hand. I'm excited for this one. I hope it actually comes to fruition and we see it in the near future. All right, so we have a lot of movie and TV news, so let's move right on. Stan Lee said sooner or later, the movie rights to all Marvel characters, including the X-Men and the Fantastic Four, will return to Marvel Studios. So I don't exactly know 100% what that means, because I think there is a difference between Marvel Entertainment and Marvel Studios. This would be a question for our resident superhero movie expert, Jordan Bryson. He would have something to say about this, I'm sure. But my whole thing is picture the Avengers, the Guardians of the Galaxy, the Defenders, which is the Netflix series, the X-Men, the Fantastic Four, and Deadpool all in one movie. Could you even imagine? My question is, would that even be feasible, and would it work as a movie? Like, could it be cool, basically?
I don't know. So I think the Fantastic Four really all of them the last few years have really struggled. So I feel like they wouldn't even bother putting them in.
Yeah.
Because one, I don't think it's all that popular.
I have heard rumors that they're trying to reboot it again after the reboot.
Yeah. So like,
and it sucked, but
it's at the point where it's at that point. Do you even try? Maybe wait 10 years and pick something up later. But so I don't foresee that happening. I don't think that would be their best
Fantastic
idea.
Four
The Fantastic
specifically?
Four specifically. X-Men, I could see like one or two characters maybe having a little role or something.
Sure.
But again, at some point you don't want. They have so many characters already.
Well,
Black Panther, Civil War. I don't know how many more characters you could have realistically put in there. But at the same time, they also did such a good job that they all really fit, and it wasn't like they were just forced in there. I thought. So if anybody could do this, it is Marvel. But it is hard, and at some point you don't want to water down your content.
Sure. So one, shots fired at DC, question mark? With that comment? No, I'm just kidding.
Well, always.
And then I think about it as like I'm interested to see what Avengers Infinity War will be like, because it's going to be even more characters than Civil War. So I'm interested to see how Marvel does it there. I think, like you said, if Marvel has the formula down, I think they're going to do well. I could maybe so I did reach out to Jordan Bryson briefly to see what he thought about this, and he said that his thoughts were basically X-Men, they have so much success on their own. They're doing numbers at the box office. They make their own movies, that he doesn't foresee this happening. But we have to throw it in here because Stan Lee says, and we already saw them take rights of Spider-Man, and now we see Spider-Man in the Avengers. So I want to imagine, X-Men, or even honestly, the X-Men would be cool to see Logan or Wolverine in a Avengers movie would be dope.
Hugh Jackman's done, ain't
that is very true. But even more so than that, I would like to see Deadpool, because that would be awesome. He's hilarious. I would love to see him in an Avengers movie.
Like interacting with either Iron Man or like the Guardians.
Yes,
that would be pretty epic.
That would be comedy.
Or even Ant-Man, because you have those are all funny people that they could have some pretty funny stuff.
Oh hell yeah! The potential,
which is weird, because I feel like in a way these movies have gotten darker, but they've also gotten funnier.
Yeah, that is weird.
They've had a weird mix of doing that.
You're right. I think
let's just give it hats off. I mean, Marvel is just fucking killing it.
Oh hell yes!
And it just shows you, and I know we talk about this every podcast, how far behind DC is.
Yeah.
And like you said, if anybody can do this, if anybody has the formula, it is Marvel. Mm-hmm. I just don't know if you want to include unpopular characters like Fantastic Four.
True. I think in order for that to happen, they would have to reboot it again with a successable Fantastic Four, and then eventually work them into the Avengers.
Or even do add them into a Hulk movie, or you know what I mean? Add them into a standalone, maybe a Black Panther or something like that first, before you even consider, and just see how it goes, see how they interact.
See if the crowd goes,
right. So I don't know. It's not something that I would prefer. But never know.
So just briefly, do you think that we will see, and it might be confirmed, I'm not 100%, so that's why I'm asking you this question, but the Netflix characters, that would be Daredevil, Luke Cage, Jessica Jones, Iron Fist, I might be missing one. Do you think that we will see them in a movie?
I don't know.
I don't think that we're going to see them in their own movie. I'm saying, do you think we'll see them in either part 1, part 2 of Avengers Infinity War?
Honestly, I'd be surprised.
Okay.
Maybe if it's maybe they just say, you know what, the last scene, fuck it, it's going to be all out war. Every Marvel character we got versus, Thanos or whatever.
Thanos, yep.
And maybe that you see them just fighting or something.
Would you like that?
That could be interesting.
Yeah.
I feel like that'd be kind of a cop-out to be a last scene. But I don't know. My off the top of my head, my guess is no.
Okay. I just want a trailer. Just give me a damn trailer.
Yeah.
A leaked version is out there, but it's pretty shitty quality. Give me the real thing. So that is some Marvel talk for you. We just talked about this before we got on here. The Gotti movie. I've heard about this for a year, maybe a couple years that it's been in the works. We finally got a trailer for the John Gotti movie. It's called Gotti. John Travolta is playing John Gotti. My question to you, do you think he will be a good John Gotti?
Travolta's one of those guys where, especially lately, he's been doing a lot of actual people.
Yeah.
And I think as he's getting older, I think that's a really good spot for him.
Mm-hmm. When you say that, it's what was his name? Shapiro in the OJ trial,
right.
The FX series.
There was something else I think I saw, where it was similar type role. But I think that's where he's at right now. He's not a guy that, as just a kind of fictional character, he's gonna bring the box office numbers that he used to be able to do, like in the Pulp Fiction days.
Sure.
So I feel like that's good for him. I think he does well in that, and I think he could pull this off. From the preview, he pulled it off at least.
The preview looks so sick.
It does.
I'm so excited. When he's in the small brief clip in the trailer, when he has the gray slicked back hair, I think it looked like they were at a funeral. He actually kind of looks like him.
He does.
Like briefly when you get a quick glimpse. So that'll be cool. Another interesting little take here. Kevin Connolly, that is Eric E. from Entourage, is directing this movie. What do you think about that? I think that's kind of weird. Do you have anything from that?
I don't know if has he done anything?
I looked before I printed off our Google Doc. Not any huge movies. He directed a few episodes of Entourage. There might be one movie where you might recognize it. I don't recall at the top of my head. But this will be his first big movie, and honestly I don't even know if this is going to be a big movie. It might be one of those with like a limited release, and then if it does well there, it'll go worldwide or whatever,
Right.
So I'm hoping that it'll come to, say, a Des Moines so we can go see it, because I'm really excited about this movie. Really, when it boils down to it, my question to you is, do you think this will be a hit or a flop? And when I say a hit, I'm saying on the level of, say, anywhere from a range of Goodfellas to Black Mass type gangster movie.
That's tough.
Because I like Black Mass.
Right.
It wasn't my favorite of all time. Goodfellas is. But do you think it'll do that?
I think it'll be somewhere in between there. I don't think anything will touch Goodfellas, Godfather type, Casino.
Except for possibly Martin Scorsese's The Irishman, which they just leaked some photos from the set, which I can't wait. Coming to Netflix next year. Oh, my God. So pumped. But that may touch it. But, yeah, I don't know if anything will ever touch it.
I just don't see it getting there.
Yeah.
But I think it has a shot to do really successful. We haven't, I don't remember a good mob story in a while.
Really, the last big one that came out was Black Mass, the Whitey Bulger story.
Yeah.
And it was good. It wasn't great. I would say the last iconic mob movie was Casino, and I think that came out in 1995. I like Donnie Brasco with Johnny Depp. It wasn't my favorite.
Gangster Squad.
Yeah, see, no, that was kind of popcorn. I liked it. It was entertaining. It wasn't.
Yeah.
It wasn't on the near. It wasn't even in the same vicinity.
It was a joke.
Yeah, but I would say Casino is the last iconic mob movie. Donnie Brasco, I liked. You could, I guess, call it iconic. But then Black Mass was a good gangster movie. Not my favorite. But I just
Do you
want...
consider Public Enemy? Have you seen that with Johnny Depp?
Public Enemy. Oh, yeah. That's
consider
old
that a
time.
gangster?
That's John Dillinger.
Yeah.
It's a gangster movie. I mean, I don't know. It was okay. It wasn't on that level to me. I would say Donnie Brasco is better than that.
Okay.
But have you seen Donnie Brasco?
I've seen most of it.
Yeah, it's good. What made it, I don't know, I don't want to say worse for me, is I saw there's I don't know if it's still on Netflix, but there was a National Geographic documentary called Inside the American Mob. Mm-hmm. And they had a specific episode on Donnie Brasco, the real guy, and he was talking about it. So I saw that before I saw the Donnie Brasco movie. So that kind of made it a little worse for me, just because I already knew what was happening. I already got the idea from the real guy, and then to see Johnny Depp. But it was still a good movie. And
you
also,
forgot,
I was going to say
left
one
out.
I maybe forgot.
What'd you forget?
Well, A Bronx Tale. I haven't seen that, but I've heard it's great, and that might have come out after Casino. What else did I miss?
Well, now that I'm looking, I think you missed two.
Okay.
And I don't know if you consider them mob movies. One is The Town.
Okay.
Do you consider that? I mean, it's gangster. I would say
that is a great movie. I love that movie. I would not consider it mob. So when I can, I would say.
Okay, hold on. Let me throw out the other one.
Yeah, sure.
American Gangster.
American Gangster. That's more mobby than The Town. When I think mob movie, I think Italian mafia. When I think gangster movie, you can throw in anything from what's the one movie with Cuba Gooding Jr. God, and Ice Cube back in the day. Boys in the Hood.
Okay.
You could throw that as a gangster movie. So I think there's a difference between mob movie and gangster movie. You can maybe The Town has those type of vibes.
Oh,
I wouldn't
okay.
consider.
What about
that.
The Departed?
Oh, hell yes.
Okay. So that one was what, 2000?
Okay. See, okay. Here we go with the semantics again. That's not Italian mafia, but yeah, I would consider that great. That's a great movie.
You don't think
one
that's
of my
a mob?
favorites.
Was that's a mob movie?
It's a mob movie. It's just not Italian mafia. I'm Italian mafia guy. No, but
this fucking guy.
The Departed is like top 3 movie for me. So yeah, I did forget that one. Touche. Do you like The Departed?
No, I love The Departed.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Well, I'm not
One of the most quotable movies I think of all time. I could honestly, I don't want to say I can say it word for word, but I can get damn near close. That movie is awesome.
honestly low-key one of Marky Mark's
Hell yes.
best performances.
It was supporting, and he wasn't in it for
Right.
like a big portion, but yes.
He was-
Yeah, she was tired from fucking my father. Fuck your mother. Yeah, he's hilarious.
Calling
in
him a
it.
cunt.
Yeah, great movie. I did forget about that one. But yeah,
But no, okay. So anyway, back to this. I think this movie has a ton of potential.
Yeah.
I think it'll be really, really good. It's just going to depend. I think it was rated R.
Probably.
It's gotta
I don't
be,
think it came
It's got to
out
be
and
R.
said-
And
oh, it did
obviously
actually.
has
Yeah,
to
it
be
was.
dark. So
Yeah, could you see it being bad? Because I don't know the trailer.
yeah, I mean,
I could see it being kind of popcorny, and
Right.
it's kind of hard for a gangster movie to do that. I want it to be dark. I want it to seem like I don't want to be like scared of it, but like damn, like
Right.
I would, if I were in that situation, I would be fearful of that mobster. That's how I want to feel, and that's how I feel with Scorsese mob movies.
Right. The one thing I'm worried about is when I was looking at the cast a minute ago, outside of
Travolta is the only big name.
You don't really, and you need those supporting cast that aren't maybe stars.
Yeah.
But you've recognized them.
Totally.
You know them. And
Speaking of that, the guy from I don't remember this guy's name, and it's a damn shame because he just passed away. But the guy who was in Casino, he was in Sopranos, he was in Goodfellas. It was Billy Batts.
yeah, I know.
I can't think of his name. I think it's Frank Vincent, something like that. But yeah, he was never the star, but you recognize him as that is a dude from a mob movie or a mob show.
William Davino.
Was that it? Let me see the picture.
That ain't it.
We're doing some research here. Come on, intern. Fuck.
Yeah.
No, just kidding. I think it's Frank Vincent, but you'll recognize him
Frank
right.
Vincent.
Frank Vincent.
Yep.
Right when you see him, you think that's a mob movie guy.
Right.
There is none in this one, but maybe one will rise from
maybe.
this. You never know. I just want this to be great.
The script's important. Mob movies script
Definitely.
is really, really important.
And-
because you could go really bad cliche where it's
Yeah.
like, oh, come on.
For
or
sure.
you could go hard-hitting script. Because mob movies, yes, there's going to be a lot of action, but there's going to be a ton of dialogue too.
Yeah.
Like The Godfather. The Godfather's arguably
it's
one of
slow.
the greatest
It's
movies
slow.
of all time, but it's so beautifully written.
Hell
I
yes.
mean, just one of the best pure written movies ever.
Mm-hmm.
So
I would say another thing that might be kind of iffy is it's a biopic. It's about John Gotti, and we've seen with the Tupac biopic that it could be poorly done. I don't want to say poorly because Tupac wasn't the worst movie I have ever seen, but it was not. It didn't live up to the potential it could have been. I think if you try to squeeze so much of his life into the movie, it gets kind of choppy and it jumps around, and that's what the problem what the Tupac movie was. So I'm really hoping they focus on one thing, maybe do a few flashbacks here and there, but really focus on one part of his life and tell the whole story.
Stay away from
based
childhood.
on that. Childhood. Yeah. I noticed in that trailer there was one in most of the movie, I think he has the gray hair, but there was one where he had black, so maybe who knows. But I'm excited for the movie. I hope it lives up. Another thing, just to briefly say, shit ton of December movies, good December movies. We have All the Money in the World, which I sent you the trailer for. Ooh. It's about the Paul Getty, the oil dude he's like the richest dude in the history of the world. His grandson gets kidnapped. Mark Wahlberg's in it. Kevin Spacey is dressed up, and you can barely tell it's him, but he's Getty. It looks great. That comes out in December. Gotti comes out in December. Star Wars, The Last Jedi, we will definitely be seeing that. Comes out in December. Those three movies alone, I feel like we have to see. But then you have Jumanji, the remake with The Rock, Kevin Hart, Jack Black. Not really 100% I want to go see it, but it's going to do box office numbers more than likely. We have The Disaster Artist, the stupid, funny movie with the Franco brothers and Seth Rogen. It has potential to be funny. And then I threw in I, Tonya. That's the Tonya Harding biopic with Margot Robbie. It's gotten good reviews at the Toronto International Film Festival. So when it hits the theaters worldwide, I'm sure it'll be pretty good. So a lot of good movies coming in December. Definitely want to see those first three for sure. So we will have more content for you coming then. But yeah, so that's that. Let's move into Emmys. I did not get a chance to watch the Emmys. I saw everything about it on Twitter. We can break down the winners, just briefly if you want. But let me run through them. Stop me if you want. Best comedy series goes to Veep. I don't know how many years in a row this has been, but probably 5 or 6. Just give them the damn trophy because they've been killing it. Best actress in a comedy series goes to Julia Louis-Dreyfus.
Did you hear about her?
I did. She has breast cancer. That's unfortunate. In her post, she was positive about it, so that's good.
Here's the thing. Her net worth is like $200 million, so if anybody's got the money to fight it, it's her.
Them Seinfeld checks.
Yeah, dude. Her daddy was.
Oh, he was
too.
Jack too.
And honestly, she's fucking awesome.
Yeah,
she's
I love
hilarious.
her. I love her.
She's a great follow on Twitter. Obviously,
really?
The thing she
I don't
does,
follow her. I'll have to follow her.
The thing she does with Veep, I mean, it's running everything right now. So
yeah,
prayers up for my girl Julia.
Definitely. Hopefully she gets past that. Best actor in a comedy series. I was excited about this one. It goes to Donald Glover in Atlanta. More Atlanta news. It is reportedly they are just starting filming season 2, and he is looking for extras for a white trash role. So that could be funny. I love the first season. Really looking forward to season 2 on FX, so I'm glad he got some love for that role. Best drama, and I have yet to see this. I think it's off of Hulu. The Handmaid's Tale. Have you heard anything about this?
No. Elizabeth Moss is good, though.
Okay, yeah. For Best Actress in a Drama Series, Elizabeth Moss in The Handmaid's Tale.
Mad Men.
She's from Mad Men? Okay.
And The West Wing.
In The West Wing.
She was Martin Sheen's daughter in The West Wing.
Huh. That's one of your all-time favorite shows, right?
It's a great fucking show.
Yeah, okay. Best Actor in a Drama Series goes to Sterling K. Brown in This Is Us. I have yet to see that, but I've heard great.
That's all over everything.
I've heard great things.
Season, like a new season.
I think it's season 2 just started. I hear it's very emotional. I think people get emotional about that show. He was also, is it Chris Darden from the OJ trial? He played in the FX series.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's the same actor.
Okay.
Yep. Best limited series goes to Big Little Lies on HBO. I have not seen it. My mom watched it, said she really liked it. I've heard the book is even better. I think it's about how these ladies have affairs and the husbands abuse them, and so very dark stuff. So I could see how it'd be a compelling series. So that's one to look out for if you haven't already watched. Best Actress in a Limited Series, Nicole Kidman in Big Little Lies. And then Best Actor in a Limited Series, Riz Ahmed in The Night Of. If you have not seen that show, go watch it if you have HBO. Great, great, great show. Dark, compelling. You see how a good kid gets transformed into a bad kid when he's been in prison, and it's just, there's a lot of irony, beautifully written. Go check it out. So that's one I have seen. I can talk about that one. Ratings for the Emmys overall hit an all-time low with 11.4 million followers. That beat the year before, 2016. I don't know the numbers, but that was at an all-time low too, so it just keeps going downhill.
Yeah, I want to talk about that.
Okay.
I didn't watch any of this.
Yeah, me either. I didn't watch any.
Next two questions are a mute point, so we can talk about this instead.
Cool.
Ratings, there's a misconstrued thing going on with ratings. One, ratings doesn't take into account streams.
True. Which is kind of bullshit because that's the way of the world. That's where media is going, so they need to include it. Music included, but go ahead.
So the ratings are off. Okay. I'm also pretty sure it doesn't take into account if you record.
Okay.
I'm not 100% on that, but I'm pretty sure.
And that's how a lot of people watch their shit.
You know, people aren't really, they don't have, a lot of people don't have cable. They just have Netflix. They just have,
they cut the cord.
Right. So ratings are going to be low. Ratings for pretty much everything are down.
Yeah.
Except for the presidential debates last year. Those were the only things that were really up. So there's this misconstrued thing. You know, a lot of people are talking about ESPN. ESPN's ratings are down. You know,
because everybody's streaming it on the ESPN app,
right? And they're just not watching as much TV, or they're listening to different podcasts. You know? There's so many different ways to watch or interact with a channel that ratings are at a low. So a lot of ratings are hot right now. Everybody's talking about ratings because a lot of it goes to the football stuff this weekend and where were ratings at and all that. There's just something a little bit wrong with the actual rating system. And people are kind of twisting them whichever way their political narrative goes. And that also being said, I think award shows are pretty much at an all-time low, just in general.
Yeah.
They're long.
Really, the Emmys is probably the worst the most prestigious ones.
Right. Besides maybe, was it the Tonys or something?
Yeah.
For like musical.
That's not anything that we're really interested in. I just mean, you know, movies, music,
the Oscars
TV.
or the
Grammys.
Yeah. You know, there's a lot that goes into that. And so take ratings and what you hear with ratings kind of as a grain of salt until they really start to figure out how you're gonna, you know, count, especially the streams.
Sure. When I did look up the specific number for the viewership, they also said that part of it could have been how Colbert basically bashed Trump the whole time. That could be a reason, and the fact that Sunday Night Football was on too.
Right.
So it was going up against that. I'm sure.
What was it last? Was this last weekend or was it the weekend before?
I do not remember.
Because if it was the weekend before, it was Cowboys.
I think it was the
football.
Weekend before.
Yeah,
I think
that was opening weekend. Cowboys were Sunday Night Football. You ain't beating them.
It was opening weekend. I don't remember, but yeah, it was going against Sunday Night Football either way. So, you know, Emmys are the Emmys. It's cool to just talk about the winners. I think I really could give a shit less
about the Packers Falcons. It was the NFC Championship rematch. You ain't beating that.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers, Matt Ryan, Julio Jones. You ain't beating that.
Hell yeah, exactly. So I mean, we didn't watch it, so we can't really analyze how Colbert did. But I know he was bashing Trump like he does.
And Spicer came out. Did you see that?
The actual man, not Melissa McCarthy.
No, they did. They went right to Melissa McCarthy.
Oh, really? That's funny.
It was weird. He claimed that it was the most watched, most viewed Emmys of all time. Like he did the very first press briefing, you know, with the inauguration stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know. It sounded like he was trying to make fun of himself, but like at the same time.
But it didn't work.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I didn't really. I heard about it. I didn't really watch it.
Sure. All right, I have to ask you about this. It can be brief because, I mean, it's over now. But let's get into Big Brother just a little bit. I made you a Big Brother fan.
You did.
So
after this fucking vote, I might not be.
Yeah, exactly. So we got a winner, and it came down to, first of all, the top three. We may have talked about, I don't know if it was down to a top three in our last podcast, but it was Paul, Josh, and Christmas. Josh and Paul became the final two. And first of all, Josh won the final HOH. Why he didn't take Christmas was crazy to me.
I don't know.
Initially.
That one I kind of... It was a good point. If he breaks Christmas, he loses, hands down.
You think?
Hands down. Hands down.
Just because people like Christmas more?
People liked Christmas, and Josh pissed off a ton of people.
That's
in that
fair.
House.
When you take into account how the jury voted and how fucking butthurt and bitter and with emotion they voted, you're probably right. I was thinking in more of the fact that if this jury actually votes, based on gameplay, he's not a chance.
Right.
So that's where my head was at. But in hindsight, you're probably right.
And the only reason I say that is she played a much more social game than he played a better actual game over her. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
her social game, I think, cancels his performances.
Okay. I can see.
I mean?
Yeah, I can see that. That's fair. So let's just get to it.
Yeah.
Josh wins over Paul. I think it came down to a 5-4 vote, with
vote
Cody being the deciding vote. Really, it pisses me off a little. The night of, I was really pissed, actually.
Yeah, it was
I did my Big Brother breakdown, and I've heard multiple people talking about how I was actually pissed off in the video. But I really was. I mean, Paul played the best game, hands down.
This is the problem with these games, is regardless of if you like someone or not, it's to me, even if I don't like someone, say it was Cody that did what Paul did.
Yeah.
I don't like Cody, but I would have recognized Cody just played a better game than everybody else.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't even close. No one played a game,
exactly,
had a strategy,
exactly,
except for Paul.
And then in the fucking jury house, we have Raven and Matt saying how they were the puppet masters with Paul. I was like, Jesus Christ, you guys are stupid as hell. And I loved how Mark called them out. That was awesome. But I would like to, and in my Big Brother breakdowns, I would say this occasionally, I like to put myself in the house because I want to eventually be in the Big Brother house. But I would like to think, even if I got evicted at the hand of Paul, I would have still been like, the dude played the best game. I'm going to give it to him. Yeah. I don't get how the jury was so butthurt that they voted with emotion and gave someone who really wasn't even a top 3 player the $500,000.
And
I felt super bad for Paul. His face said everything, man.
I couldn't have done anything else.
Yeah, he really couldn't have.
And
it's a damn shame.
It's a game.
Yeah.
B, everybody except for one has to go at some point. So
yeah. And here's the thing.
I'll tell you this: the people I was most disappointed in were Alex and Jason.
Oh yeah.
Come on.
It's a game, dude.
It's a game.
Here's my whole thing. You can backstab. Everyone who's saying you backstabbed and that's why we're not voting for you. I would appreciate that, because that is Big Brother and that's how you win. You have to be Frank Underwood. You have to, behind closed doors, make these hard decisions and step on some people's toes. That makes your game better in my mind. I said this in my Big Brother breakdown. Basically, if you're arguing with me that Paul isn't one of the best players and he didn't play the best game, then your thought process, if you're arguing that, basically is saying you have to win competitions, you have to make these moves, but you have to do it nicely.
Yeah.
Because you can't piss off the jury.
Yeah.
There's
no real way to do that. There's no way to do that.
Exactly. I really think that Big Brother's gonna have to make some changes. I don't know if it's a twist. I don't know if it's taking something away, but I think they're gonna have to do something different for the next season, because to me, if you're CBS or Big Brother, this can't happen again, because the best player did not win, and I just think that's shitty. It is. So that's our Big Brother talk. quickly, Cody got America's Favorite Player, and Jessica and Cody are going to be on The Amazing Race. Fuck them. Have fun. It movie, they get a sequel. It gets a release date, September 6th, 2019. Are you at all interested?
No.
After your
No.
2.7 rating, you aren't even remotely interested?
Sucked.
Yeah. All right. That's fair.
I'll probably see it so I can trash it.
Yeah, that's fair. That's always fun with the unfiltered cinematics. All right, moving on. The director for the Kingsman movies, Matthew Vaughn, has been signed on to reboot the 1980 cult classic Flash Gordon. But the Guardians of the Galaxy may have put a halt on it. Vaughn said, "We've been working on it. For me, the only problem with Flash Gordon is the Guardians of the Galaxy kind of stole what I would have liked to done with it. You've got Star Wars, you've got Guardians, so you've got to have your own space opera, but you've got to find something that can survive among these two very, very great franchises." Is he right? Or would you think he would be able to pull inspiration, at least, from Star Wars or Guardians of the Galaxy? First of all, would you even be interested in a Flash Gordon reboot?
I don't know if I would.
Have you seen the first one? It's the cheesiest fucking movie I've ever seen in my life.
It's nothing special. It's tough.
Yeah.
He is not wrong. He's actually very, very right.
When I think about it this way, like a Guardians of the Galaxy X-esque Flash Gordon could be kind of cool.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know what they could do differently.
right.
But
It's hard. I don't know. I don't have the answers for that.
Yeah.
That's for someone above me.
Okay.
Above my pay grade.
that's fair. I know we aren't real big Game of Thrones people. That's Nick. Hopefully we can get Nick back sometime soon. I know he's studying to be a lawyer, so do your thing. Make that moolah and come back and talk some shit with us. But he's a big Game of Thrones guy. 5 Game of Thrones prequels are in the works. Should HBO continue riding this wave, or is this doing too much?
I don't know if I would have announced 5. I would have announced 1 or 2, see how they do first before you just put in a shit ton of money for 5.
Yeah. Interesting. All right. Jordan Peele is developing a 1970s Nazi hunting TV series called The Hunt. Is it safe to say Peele is the most woke filmmaker in Hollywood right now? Remember, he's also making the Black Klansman that we talked about.
He's definitely the most racially charged.
Yeah.
Or racially
motivated in your movie making.
Yeah.
I guess.
I would definitely say that.
Which is weird because he comes from Comedy Central where he's fucking hilarious on Key and Peele.
Right.
So it's interesting to see him make these serious
Hard-hitting,
movies.
yeah.
Yeah. Especially with Get Out.
But yeah, I mean, Get Out was so good. That,
Yeah.
I mean, he's right now. He's one of those guys. You just have to see what he does. 'Cause
Yeah.
It's
Would you be
good.
interested in this show? I mean, I'm very interested in the Black Klansman.
Yeah, I am too.
This is kind of maybe we'll see. We'll see who's in it.
Yeah. This is going to depend a lot on the cast, I think.
Yeah.
And kind of.
And where it lands. Like
Yeah.
maybe if it's HBO, I would be more inclined to see it if it was on like Fox or CBS. Yeah, I agree. And our last little movie tidbit, because I know we're going to break some shit down in this next segment. We may be getting a Star Wars The Last Jedi trailer on October 9th during Monday Night Football, based on a Mark Hamill tweet that has since been deleted. Be on the lookout. One brief question: what more do you want to know?
That's
Is there
a good
any
question.
more that you really want to know from the Star Wars trailer? Because to me, I like to be surprised when it comes to Star Wars, when it comes to these big franchises. I want to be surprised. So honestly, I don't want to say it pisses me off when I see little spoilers that Screen Rant puts out, because I like to be in the know, but I want to be surprised when it comes to this. So I don't know how much I
just like to see more, either some of the newer characters, or like the characters we saw from the last movie that we haven't like heard from, if they're going to be in this, or like what kind of role. I just like to see what kind of characters they put on.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, you want to see Phasma?
I would love to see Phasma or Maz.
Hell yeah.
You know, just show me let me know that they're in them.
Give me a little bit of hint. All right. So we are going to do a political minute, maybe a little bit longer than a political minute on the dot. I have a Twitter thread that I want to read, and it's pretty long, but I think it's important, so I want to break it down. Basically, we're not sticking to music, movies, TV, sports, because this transcends everything, and it delves into sports as well. Donald Trump
stick to politics.
He didn't stick to politics, so we ain't sticking on our end either. So basically, Donald Trump called football players who kneel during the national anthem sons of bitches. He also said that they should be fired. I'm just going to keep going, and you can stop me and give your point when.
Yeah, let's talk about kneeling, because we've never really talked about this, and I have a lot of thoughts on this.
Okay. I do too. So
my initial reaction when Cap first started was, I don't know if that's the best idea.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have a question though for you.
Yeah.
Before we even get to it.
Yep.
Were you mad at him for doing it though? I
Cap?
mean, yeah.
No.
Okay.
No, I'm never mad at someone that peacefully protests.
Exactly.
It's within your right. I don't have to agree with it.
Exactly.
I don't have to disagree with it. You're right. This is what I'll say. Cap, what people don't understand is he went like 2 or 3 games without anybody even noticing he was doing it. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't him out there like, hey, look at me, like an attention grab.
Yeah.
It was a sincere thing. I will say I think he crossed the line a little bit. After he did it, I think he wore socks one time that had
the pigs
as police.
Yep.
That's a little bit of a cross the line. So that's my first initial thought. Now, this is the part I don't like because there's so much hypocrisy. Ferguson happens, and what do they say? Oh, man, I just wish they'd be peacefully protesting. If they were just peacefully protesting, it'd be fine. Mm-hmm. Okay,
so now,
so now we have people that are just taking a knee. You couldn't be more peaceful.
Yeah.
Oh, they should stand up. They shouldn't protest that. They're protesting the flag, the military, the national anthem. No, it's not.
Exactly.
No, it's not. You what you've done is you've taken the message and you've twisted it to fit your narrative.
Yeah.
When in fact everybody's on the same page. That's all what they're talking about.
Yeah.
They're talking about police brutality and they're talking about social injustice.
Because this is happening in America, which is what the flag represents.
Right.
So,
and a protest is to get, by nature, to make people uncomfortable and to get attention. To
people are talking
issue.
about it.
Yes.
It's working.
Now, this is another thing that is driving me nuts, and I tweeted about it. One, Donald Trump says his whole thing is make America great again. Mm-hmm. Okay. Now, he is saying this country is A, not great, or B, could be better. Right? Mm-hmm. That's what that statement says. One of those two things.
Yep.
Okay, so now when a black athlete says we need to make our country better because right now we're not, because there's social injustice, there's police brutality, there's, this, and this that are making minorities in this country not as equal as white people.
Yep.
How is that not the same pretty much exact statement?
Yeah.
There is, it is one thing. Donald Trump talks about how much he loves America. He loves the troops. He loves the flag. It is okay. You can love your country and want it to be better.
Hell yes.
Those thoughts are not mutually exclusive.
Mm-hmm.
You can think something is great. America, to me, is great.
Yeah.
But we can be better. And if you don't think that I don't understand it.
Yeah.
Because our president, that was his whole fucking premise.
Yep.
So the hypocrisy on both sides is what drives me nuts. And then the idea that they're protesting military, they're protesting the flag or the national anthem. They're not. They've said so.
Yeah.
They've said so. And then the Cowboys, who I thought honestly did the best job, and that's not biased.
I was going to say the exact same thing. So
they take a knee before the national anthem because they don't want
it's honestly the best thing they could have done. I think it's
as
the
a
best
sign
thing.
of unity that yes, we acknowledge that there are injustices. We want to do our part, but we're not going to protest the flag because we don't want the fucking backlash.
Yeah.
Which why would you?
And Jerry Jones,
right
after what he said, we'll get into that if you want.
Which is a millionaire that has given millions of dollars to Donald Trump.
Yeah.
And they got booed.
Yeah.
So that means you're telling me you're not booing them because they're protesting the flag in America. You're booing them because they're protesting.
Yeah.
You are trying to silence black people and what they are trying to stand for because it doesn't fit your narrative.
Agenda. Yep.
You don't like it. It's not the protest. It's what they're protesting that you don't like.
Here's my whole thing. I see why people may think that they are protesting the flag because it's during the national anthem and it's the flag and it represents freedom and that's what the military is fighting for. I don't agree with that. I think obviously you just broke the whole thing down. That isn't what they're protesting.
Right.
They're protesting police brutality. And my whole thing is I hear people say, what do they think it's going to do, them kneeling? Like, is it going to fix anything? You're talking about it.
Right.
Like, you're talking about it. That's the first step. If it wasn't doing anything, you wouldn't be talking about it. That's my whole thing.
Another thing, you're exposing people.
Yeah.
Did you see the Pittsburgh police chief?
No.
He called Mike Tomlin a effing N-word.
Really?
Yeah, got fired.
Jesus.
You're exposing people that are exactly who you're protesting.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Change, it's never easy.
No.
It doesn't come fast.
Yeah.
But it has to start somewhere. Also, people want to talk about polling. Oh, they polled at should they protest the national anthem? 38% said yes.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously the majority says no, they shouldn't protest. Remind you, the March on Washington, I have a dream that everybody idolizes, everybody talks about. It's in every English or every history class.
Mm-hmm.
Polled at the time, 30% thought they should do it.
Wow. That's crazy.
So you know what? It might not be popular now.
Yeah.
Change never is until you see it affected.
Exactly. All right. So also Trump revoked Steph Curry and the Warriors invitation.
Hold on, I got one more thing to say.
Okay. Go ahead.
Sorry.
No, I like it.
Our president should never use language like sons of bitches when talking about Americans.
I agree.
Considering he couldn't say that the Nazi white supremacists were sons of bitches, then
Totally
don't call African American who's just taking a kneel a son of a bitch.
I'll go out and say it. He's a fucking idiot, and I don't care who thinks that. It thinks I'm a shithead for saying that, but he is. All right. Trump also revoked Steph Curry and the Warriors' invitation to the White House
after he said he wasn't.
He said he wasn't even going to go anyway. I thought that was pretty.
I'm
funny
breaking
too.
up with you. No, I broke up with you first.
Yeah. It was funny. Yeah. So that doesn't really fit what we're talking about with the kneel. I just thought I'd throw that in there because that was basically came around the same time.
That was another African American athlete.
Yeah. Also, this is kind of big. This isn't even sports, but I saw it, and I want to get your take on it. So
I saw some of this.
You saw some of it. I didn't get to see all of it either. I saw bits and pieces. So Oprah was on 60 Minutes this past Sunday, and like I said, I saw bits and pieces. Didn't get to see the whole thing. I think they may. So basically, what happened is they put all these
a round table
of voters in a room, and basically let them argue it out. Why Trump is bad, why they think Trump is good, and everything in between. A lot of arguing from what I heard and saw. I was up in the kitchen and my parents were watching and I heard it. But I heard them talking, and like I said, I didn't see it all. They may have came together in the end and made a final proclamation or something. I don't know. But in this discussion, they were talking about civil war. People are saying that this country is so divided that they could see a civil war. Are we at this point? Could this potentially happen?
No.
And if it could, what would it even be? Liberal versus right wing? Is that what it would be? Or black versus white or what?
No,
it's insane, man.
It's no.
Not even close to being at that point. Thank God, because it's insane.
No.
And the crazy part is we're becoming even more divided. So that's what's scary about this whole thing.
I mean, that's the number one problem. So a while back, I was talking to a friend of mine who happens to be African American, and we were talking about the election. This was before the election, and he told me, maybe the country needs Donald Trump. And I was taken aback because I know he's pretty liberal. And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, maybe we need a shock to the system that's so bad that we need to see just how awful things really are.
How we can hit rock bottom and go up from there. Yeah.
And the more I think about it, I don't know if I 100% agree, but I think he's onto something. I think what you've seen, the media is going to portray a really negative light because that's what gets clicks, that's what gets views. There is a part of this country, the one major thing that I will say is our electorate, so all the people are more engaged than they've ever been.
Yeah.
if that's love for Trump or hate for Trump.
Yeah.
They're paying attention. Because what's wrong with politics, what's wrong with democracy, why it doesn't work sometimes is when people aren't informed and when they're not paying attention. You've seen so much when the travel ban comes out, people protesting, the walk on Washington the day after the inauguration, whatever it may be. You've seen this activism that we haven't seen before, and I think something can come of that.
Sure.
Now, unfortunately,
That's finding light in a really dark place, so that was
Right.
good.
The one thing I will say is more than ever, and I don't know if people are going to take this the wrong way, and frankly, I don't give a shit. We need a uniter more than a divider, and there's not a bigger divider in recent history than Donald Trump. McConnell's up there with what he did during Obama's era, but it's not what this country needs right now. That's actually the exact opposite of what this country needs. So whatever it comes from, I don't know if that's 2020. I don't know if that's 2024.
Yeah.
This country has to vote in a uniter, and it doesn't matter what side, but we got to find a way to bring people at least to be able to sit down and just have a fucking conversation.
Oh, yeah.
And we need to just blow up Facebook.
Yeah.
No, I'm not kidding. Social media makes this problem 100 times worse.
Oh, yeah. But
Because people
it's
hide
not
behind,
going away.
Because
That's the
people
scary
hide
part.
behind a computer and think they can say whatever they want.
Yeah. Can I also say this? Can we make the presidential election, at least the next one, not a pop culture thing? Because, I mean, this is very outlandish and very unlikely to happen, but The Rock and Kanye and people who, it's a joke at first because we all thought Trump was a joke at first.
Yeah.
But then fucking who's in the office? Let's, the right people, let's have them run for fucking president, please.
I always put it this way. Who would, if you were a NFL football player and your organization the team you play for hired a head coach who was a rocket scientist, how would you feel? Probably not good because he doesn't know what the fuck is going on. He's never actually coached a game.
He's a smart guy probably,
Right.
but probably not smart at football.
Right.
Yeah. That's a good analogy. I like that. All right, so this next thing I'm about to read is kind of long, but I really do think it's important. I thought I just want to read it for you guys. I want to see your thoughts at the end of it. I don't know if you saw this on Twitter, but I really think it's pretty powerful, and I want to see if you think there's anything to it. So this is J. Cole. He very rarely gets on Twitter, but he had a thread of quite a few tweets, and it was about Kaepernick and the whole kneeling during the anthem type thing. So I want to read this to you. I'm not saying that I agree with it fully, but I do want to see what you think. All right, so he starts off, excuse me. God bless every player that finds courage to kneel today, but the real power comes from you deciding not to watch. Your eyes translate to advertising money for the league and its owners. Same ones who speak out against Trump today are the same ones that denied a qualified man a job because he took a stand against injustice. How do they make it right? I know there are people smarter than me with better answers, but here's one. Hire a third-party investigator approved by the NFLPA to determine if Cap was denied a job unfairly and punishment for his stance. I know. And compensate the man for his losses if they determine he was. Bear with me, I'm just a rapper. Now look, every day they stay quiet on this, and they're saying that they condone what's happening to Cap, and the message is sent. Well, you have a choice on how to respond to that. You can choose not to watch. If a boycott doesn't force them to action, don't even trip. This is where the real flex happen. Black people spend a lot of money with NFL corporate sponsors. White people who don't fuck with white supremacy spend a lot of money too. So next, you turn your attention to these sponsors. Pick one of the biggest ones and say, do you agree with blackballing players when they speak out against oppression? If not, why are you spending all this money with the league that clearly condones that? And you know what? I don't think I could spend my money with you no more until you fix that. Repeat this with another company and another. That's when the magic happens. And sadly, in this capitalistic world we live in, that's when your voice is heard. when you hurt the pockets. I respect whatever you decide to do, watch or don't watch, whatever's in your heart. But I'm not watching till it feel right. It was hard during the preseason and the first week, but then I was like, wait, is this actually that hard? Some of us got grandparents that walked miles to work instead of riding the bus just to show the bus companies that they won't tolerate racism. So when I think about it like that, it's very easy on Sunday to say, nope, I'm straight. This may be the biggest opportunity we have ever been presented to come together and show the world ourselves our true economic power. Thank you, Colin, for your sacrifice. I'm going to stop it there. Peace and love to all. Let's give energy to the solutions, not the problem, even if you don't rock with mine. So very long there. A lot of tweets. Like I said, he doesn't tweet very much, but I think he does have a point. My question to you, is he right? And do you think this could work?
Okay.
A lot going on there. So.
Yeah. It could work. He's kind of right. He's kind of wrong.
Okay.
What I mean. He's right in the sense that it is all about the pocketbook. Okay. Example. Remember when Bill O'Reilly at Fox News got a bunch of like sexual assault charges, basically.
Yeah.
Intimidation, whatever you want to call it. He got all those charges brought against him right after all the Rogers Ailes and all this stuff happened at Fox.
Yeah.
Fox wasn't going to really fire him. He kind of took a little leave of absence, but he was going to come back. It was going to be fine.
Yep.
There's an organization, I can't remember it off the top of my head, that went and put out on social media every single advertiser that advertises during Bill O'Reilly's show. They pull almost all of those companies pulled their ads off that air time. He was fired within the next few days. When you hit their pocketbook, when you say this isn't okay, this person condones this, or this organization condones this, and you're giving ad money to them, it scares the shit out of advertisers, which then in turn scares the living shit out of that company or that organization.
Yeah.
So that is how you break it up. Wrong to me in the sense that if he sends these series of tweets a week before Trump says what he says, I think he nails it.
Yeah.
But when Trump's telling you to protest, this is what I'm saying. Now you are having the people who want the racism to end not watching, and the people who are saying that they shouldn't be protesting not watching.
Yeah.
So what do the advertisers believe? Which one are they believing? Are they believing it's because this small movement started with people wanting social injustice to be fixed, and they wanted to hurt their advertising money, or are they going with the side that, well, the president of the United States just called them sons of bitches and told everybody to boycott?
Yeah.
Which side is going to have more viewers?
Yeah.
So he just picked I think, probably the worst day to tweet this.
Okay. And it was, I think he tweeted the Sunday. It was Sunday morning before the games. Yeah. So if you're saying like a week before to give time to prep for it. And I know, and this doesn't really have anything to do with it, but DirecTV Sunday Ticket, I believe they're refunding money to people who don't want to watch. It's going to be very hard for this to happen. I love football. I love the NFL. I support people kneeling. I obviously don't want police brutality. And look, I respect the movement. It's just, it's going to be so hard to not watch football. It is what it is.
Here's the thing. One, NFL's king. Okay,
they own a day of the week and some others.
Yeah, they own almost 3. Okay, NFL ain't going nowhere.
Yeah.
Sorry. 2, it's okay to protest peacefully. Doesn't matter what you protest. That is your God-given right in this country. Well, I guess your constitutional right in this country.
Yeah.
Okay. 3, it is not mutually exclusive to love your country and think that it should be better.
I agree.
4 is you can protest police brutality and also understand that there are really good cops out there that do an amazing job, because there are. I don't want that to get lost, because sometimes I think it does.
Yeah.
Yes, we are saying there's police, not we as in me and you, but as Colin Kaepernick, there is police brutality. That doesn't mean all policemen are bad or all policemen are great.
Totally.
That is saying that there are some bad apples, and we want them exposed because they're not being held accountable for when they do make these mistakes, a la what you just saw in St. Louis a week or two ago. Okay, we need to understand those things. Okay, then we need to understand that it's not about whose narrative, it's about the actual message. Because if we can't openly just agree that this is what their message is and this is the conversation we need to be having, no progress gets made.
For sure. A lot of deep talk. That was good. One thing I want to respond to that really quickly. Just think about it though. I mean, if people really did take to heart what J. Cole said and boycotted the NFL, I really think a big spark could be had. It's going to be very, very hard to do, but if enough people, if it caught on, a change could be made. I'm not saying that is the only way to get the change to happen, but I just thought he had some really good things to say. Agree or disagree, you have to admit that he's on to something, right?
I think he's right on the premise.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay, and that was our political minute. Now let's get into some sports talk.
Stick to sports.
Bigger storyline trumps the NFL. We were going to kind of transition into NFL, but another crazy story came out. 4 NCAA basketball coaches and an Adidas executive were charged in a bribe scheme. Rick Pitino has been fired from Louisville. Really, I haven't read a lot into this. I'm sure you know more about this. So tell me what. You know about this.
A lot still.
A lot is yet to come out.
The other shoe hasn't dropped yet.
Okay.
What we know is there was a 2-year FBI investigation. They did some undercover work and found that the AAU agents of the high school players, some coaches, assistant coaches, administrators, were basically paying these agents to get people to come to their schools.
Yeah.
Or to get the top talent to their schools.
To come to an Adidas school.
Right.
Okay.
It's bad. It's really,
corrupt.
really bad.
It's corrupt.
It's mob-like corrupt.
Yeah.
I don't know. A lot of people are going to lose their jobs. I think that's the first and foremost thing. A lot of people are going to go on probation.
Have they named the other schools?
I mean,
know, obviously Louisville with Rick Pitino being out now.
I think I heard USC,
Okay.
Auburn. I think there was up to 8 now that
Really?
they had named. I'm blanking on some of the other names.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's
And it parallels a little bit, and I don't remember the exact 30 for 30, but there was one with an NBA, and they made it basically a business, and that you're dealing with professional athletes, so it's a little, you can do a little bit more there, but with the NCAA and its rules, this is very slippery, and it's going to be crazy,
might
man.
get us a step closer to paying college athletes,
You think?
or at least letting them use their name to generate money.
This is a big conversation and totally separate, but do you have a quick stance on that?
I don't think they should get paid by their the school. I think they should be able to make money off jersey sales with their name and number.
Okay.
They should be able to sign a shoe deal if they want to shoot, or if the shoe companies will give them a shoe deal. They should be able to make money using their name, just like everybody else could.
Sure. Will we ever get a college football game again?
Yes.
God, I want it so bad.
Yes, we will.
I'm going to ride the fence on that one, dude. That's a whole other conversation for another podcast.
That's another way they could get paid is EA Sports.
Yeah.
Maybe they get a free game. I don't know. Give them something. Give them some type of kickback to use their likeness.
Yeah.
There you go.
There you go. That's another conversation. I'm going to ride the fence because I don't even know where I stand on that one. I see both sides, and it's very slippery. But, yeah, that's something else. So that's really all we know in that right now. I mean,
yeah,
it's just starting.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, okay. All right, let's talk some football now. The NFL. Really, we talked about the protests, so we'll skip that. But really, when it came down to the results, I thought it was a really weird week.
It was
my Ravens sucked a major dick. The Jags killed them 44-7. A lot of just upsets. Teams that really should have won didn't win.
Right, and honestly, the best thing for the NFL was a lot of really, really, really good games that came down to the last minute.
Yeah,
the NFL got lucky because the first 2 weeks have been hit or miss.
Sure.
But yeah, what you saw this week was parity, no doubt about it. Like
so you think a lot of it was kind of fluke, or
I don't know if it was fluke. I just think it was a lot of, like the Jags, the Ravens.
Yeah.
You have to go to London. I mean,
see,
the Jaguars play that game every year.
That's what I'm saying. That was my silver lining. It kind of seems like an excuse, but when you think about it, I mean, I'm sure they were jet lagged. I mean, they literally came out and they punted the first 4 or 5.
Yeah, Flacco had like a .08.
Yeah, and they put
rating.
in Ryan Mallett at the end.
Yeah. Listen, I'll say this. The Jaguars' defense is legit.
They're very improved. The whole team, I think.
Their defense is a top 5 defense.
I think Fournette's
going
to
to
be good.
Bortles is still very average. Receiving core, tight end, not great. I think they finished second in their division, which is a pretty shitty division. But they're an improved team, no doubt. The Ravens... Yeah, I mean, London's an excuse, but they also played horrible.
Oh, hell yes. So god-awful.
You never know. The Bears over the Steelers, I think that was actually a bigger tell. The Steelers are just, something's not right. I don't know if Big Ben is 100% healthy. I don't know if he's all the way bought in. Le'Veon Bell, who held out all offseason, not running very well, not getting the yards. Doesn't look like the Le'Veon Bell we've seen the last couple of years.
Yeah.
So I think the Steelers are actually a bigger, if you're a Steeler fan, I think there's more worry for you than Ravens fans right now.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. We have the Redskins over the Raiders. That
Jets. Was a little bit of a surprise. Just of how badly the Redskins kind of dominated the Raiders.
Yeah. And I really think, I picked the Raiders to go fairly far. I think they have a lot of talent.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I think they bounce back, though. We have the Jets over the Dolphins, and then the Patriots barely beat the Texans. Yeah. Just when it came down to the results, a really weird week in my mind.
Can I tell you one quick pet peeve?
Yeah, go for it.
So the Texans had like a 4th and 1, and they were up by like 2 points with like a couple minutes left in the game. Bill O'Brien was the quarterback coach / offensive coordinator for the Patriots during the early 2000s after Charlie Weiss.
Okay.
So he knows the Patriots fairly fucking well. Go for it, dog. Don't kick a field goal to go up by 5 and give Brady 2.5 minutes.
That's very true.
Go for the first down. If you get it, you probably win the fucking game and Brady doesn't touch the ball.
Yeah. All right. Let's move. Any other big headlines you want to talk about in the NFL, or should we move to college football?
I think we can move on.
All right. Some pretty good games this past week. Penn State narrowly beat Iowa. I know that's a sore subject. I'm sorry.
No, let me just say,
it was a good game.
Yeah,
and Barkley is a fucking beast.
Yeah, Barkley jumped to number 1 in the Heisman, no doubt. Iowa gave up like almost 600 yards of offense.
Yeah.
The Iowa defense did. And to me, I tweeted it was one of the greatest performances I've ever seen. Yeah, if you tell someone we gave up 600 yards, they're going to be like, oh my God, how? Or like, how bad did you get beat? No, that's a really good offense. That Iowa defense was out there, it felt like the entire game. And, Barkley showed how good he is, but he never had that like 80-yard run where it just put the game out. Iowa just kept battling and battling and battling. And every time they needed a play, that defense found a way to make one, except for the very last play of the game, half an inch higher. The safety, if he jumps half an inch higher, Iowa wins.
He did have that iconic hurdle, and the dude hit him, and he landed. Yeah. Oh my God!
Yeah, he's a stud.
He's a stud.
This is my other thought on this. I told a friend of mine, Saquon Barkley to me is the most dynamic / explosive running back in college football since Reggie Bush.
And who predicted him to be the Heisman? Yo, boy.
A lot of time left, dog. A lot of time left.
A lot of time left. But I do think he is a stud, and even if he doesn't win Heisman, I think he'll be good at the next level.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Another upset, I guess if you want to call it an upset, with their backup quarterback. NC State beat Florida State. Francois is out for the season, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's tough. I know you had high hopes for him, maybe going to the championship again.
Had him winning the championship.
Yeah, but it's going to be tough for him now to bounce back.
It's over.
Yeah. Do you think how many do you think they're going to have trouble just winning?
No, they'll get like 6 or 7 wins.
Okay. Yeah, that's too bad.
They'll beat up on the bad ACC teams.
It's crazy that, I mean, football is definitely a team sport, but it's crazy how one player can impact a team like that.
No doubt.
All right, so TCU, they beat Oklahoma State. Georgia kind of killed Mississippi State.
Not kind of, fucking murdered.
Did they murder them?
After
Okay.
Mississippi State put a whooping on LSU.
Yeah. So, do you think TCU is for real? Or
TCU is hard to tell. Oklahoma State's one of those teams where it's every time I feel like the country starts believing they might be a championship team,
they get
upset.
upset.
They just like give you a letdown game.
Yeah.
Remember the Iowa State game a few years ago?
Oh, yeah.
You know, that's Oklahoma State's thing. They get off to like these great starts, and then they get off to sucking.
Yeah.
You know, like it's a weird thing.
It is.
At TCU, Gary Patterson's one of the best coaches in college football.
All right, I like it. Any other college football headlines you can think of?
To me, the biggest thing is that I'm a Big Ten homer, no doubt, but the SEC's poop this year. Quarterback play. I'm pretty sure I could start at a couple SEC schools at quarterback. Just so you know, I'm 5'10", 5'11", and played receiver in high school. That's how much faith I have in SEC quarterbacks. The offenses are they're horrible. B, they have no creativity to them whatsoever. And then my last thought is my alma mater, Mizzou, is a fucking dumpster fire.
I like it. All right, a little MLB playoff race talk.
Oh, I wish Nick was here.
Oh, is he going to talk some
wish
shit?
Nick was here.
Go ahead. Let's see if he's listening. Go ahead and say something.
Hey, all I'm going to say is...
Go, Cubs, go.
All I'm going to say is...
Go, Cubs, go.
3 years ago...
Okay. I thought you were going to sing with me.
No. I'm just going to speak facts.
All right.
3 years ago, the Cubs beat the Cardinals in the division series. Last year, the Cubs win the division and the World Series. This year, they win the division. Cardinals Nation. Oh, those 14 rings. What have you done for me lately? We're here to talk about the now.
Uh-oh.
You get to watch us from your couch in the playoffs again.
Damn. Brandon's gunning.
The Cubs
I like it.
are no longer little brother.
Yeah, baby. They're getting hot at the right time. That's all I got to
dog.
say. That's all I got to say. They're getting hot at the right time. Aaron Judge beat Mark McGwire's rookie home run record with 50 home runs. Has he hit any more since then?
I don't know.
Pretty cool.
It's football season.
It's football season.
It's football season until playoff baseball.
Until playoff baseball. I will agree with that. Another big headline in sports, Carmelo Anthony was traded to the Oklahoma City Thunder for Enes Kanter, Doug McDermott, and a 2018 second-round draft pick. Did I say that wrong? I thought you were going to gun me for that.
Kanter,
yeah. Thoughts on that? Was it a good trade?
The Knicks.
Do you care?
Suck.
Yeah.
The Knicks are so
Throw
bad.
away any talent that you get. Yeah.
I mean, they had to get rid of Melo, but like, if that's your return, I'm like, RIP, you're going to suck again for the next 5 years.
Yeah.
And then also, Dwayne Wade was bought out by the Bulls and signed with the Cleveland Cavaliers. So him and LeBron are back together.
That'll be cool. That will be cool. I forgot about that one. So there's that. Yeah. Anything else in sports? Let's move to some music. So Chance the Rapper premiered some new music on the Colbert Show, and it was beautiful.
Was it singing? Was it rapping? What was it?
Did you not see it?
I haven't heard it.
Oh man, it is so good.
On my to-do list.
Yeah. So it was one of those deeper songs that put you in your feels.
Give me a comparison.
Like a Chance song comparison. I would say
Talking like blessings.
Blessings.
Talking like same drugs.
Blessings, but I would say a little bit more emotional, honestly.
Okay.
He's speaking about his daughter, and then he sings.
Is he singing about how he took that L from me in Rock, Paper, Scissors?
Yeah, maybe. No, no, but it is a very good song. I would highly recommend it. So go check that out if you haven't heard it. And then, do you think that this means a new mixtape and or album is on the way? And remember this. Let's play this clip real quick.
Yeah. But back to the matter at hand. I was the savage, used to walk on my hands. Man, I've never been on a fence. To everybody in there, texting their friends. Take the fuck off your phone. Start dancing, a romance, I'm a ass.
All right, what do you think of that?
What was that? I don't even know.
That was so Chance the Rapper shared that snippet on Instagram. It's been a while. It's been probably a couple months.
Dancing to?
Yeah, he was in the blue sweatshirt and dancing to. Kind of some auto-tune there, but it kind of had like a little 90s vibe. I really fucks with it a lot.
It sounded like shit, what's that one song that got him real famous? Sunday
Candy?
Sunday Candy.
Okay.
Kind of had that,
I could see it.
That kind of vibe to it.
I could see it. So really, we have this new song with Daniel Caesar. He was on the hook. I haven't heard that dude's album, but I've heard great things. He's an R&B guy. He was on the hook. That song was super emotional, super deep. And then you have that, which sounded a little more upbeat and fun, 90s vibe. So do you think we're going to get a new mixtape or album?
We got to get one soon. I mean, it's been over a year.
Yeah. Chances like that, though. I mean, in between acid rap and...
See, but at the same time, I understand that, but he also has never blown up like he did.
That's very true.
At some point, you can't just, stay where you're at. You gotta ride the wave and keep going.
Hell yeah.
Some of the things he wants to do, I think, the bigger he gets, the more he can do.
Oh, yeah. I love Chance the Rapper.
Everything he stands for.
Exactly. Positivity, the faith.
It's Logic, it's J. Cole they really leave. It's more to rap than rap for all three of those guys. That's why they're three of my favorites right now.
Definitely. I would say there's some religious undertones and faith aspects in Kendrick's music.
Yeah,
I mean, it's darker, but
his to me are more socially driven than
that's fair.
Religious.
That's fair.
Which honestly, a little bit for Logic too. Logic's not that religious.
No.
Sense he's more socially, more like
mental health
theory. Yeah.
Yeah. But those are the leaders of the pack, I think, in moving the culture forward where it needs to be.
No one even close.
Yeah.
No one even close.
Okay. Cardi B's single, Bodak Yellow, gets the #1 spot on the Billboard Hot 100. This is the first time a female solo rapper has done that since Lauryn Hill in 1998. First of all, do you fucks with that song? And is she the next Nicki Minaj?
Never heard it, honestly.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
I've been slacking in my
That's
music,
okay.
man.
Honestly, the past
There
couple
hasn't been shit coming out
the past
that I've
couple
had to listen
podcasts,
to.
we haven't had a ton of music news. The past couple, and I do this weekly. The pop culture dinner trays. There really hasn't been a ton of music news, but I do like this song. It's not like socially aware, conscious, or anything. It's a banger. It's a club song. It's a song for ladies to feeling confident, let's just say.
Feeling themselves?
Yeah, it's a banger. I like it. It's pretty good.
You get off this, dog.
The fact that it's it hit the #1 spot though is pretty impressive, I will say. I think it knocked off Taylor Swift.
Look what you made me do. Look what you made me do. Look what you.
Isn't there's like a rap song too? Like, Are You Ready? I haven't heard it, but yeah, I don't. That's another subject. But yeah. Do you kind of know about her a little bit?
Yeah, wasn't she the one where her titty almost fell out?
That, and I'm pretty sure she at one point in her life was a stripper. I've heard that you could go online and find videos of her doing that. So go
make that money.
That. Exactly.
As Usher said, "Baby, I don't mind if you dance on a pole. That don't make you a hoe."
Oh, hey, I like that. I don't know. Comparing
Speaking
her
of
to
Usher, boy, he giving everybody some problems. Did you hear about that shit?
I did.
They said he gave a man in like Croatia herpes. I'm like, what the fuck?
Oh shit!
But he's
denying it.
I'm
Obviously,
completely
right?
taking this off the rails here. But his shit sound like Bill Cosby, where like when like 3 people came out, it's like, and now like
When that
48
shit got
people.
to 12, I was like, still no.
Yeah. But like everybody's piling on. Like everybody who ever had herpes, like is like, yeah, Usher gave it to me. It's like, God damn, Usher.
That is comedy.
Usher was living that shit up.
Comedy.
Salute, baby.
I'm going to skip this next one because I know you probably don't care about Gucci Mane. He's dropping a
I
mixtape.
take my shirt off and all the hoes stop breathing.
What is that from? Shotba Shouty?
No, that's Usher. That's Gucci Mane. That's his shirt off.
Okay, interesting.
I don't know what album it's from. All I know is the artwork is he's in an orange prison suit.
Oh, okay.
It's that album.
Yeah, I know that one.
If you haven't heard that song, you got to.
Is it Lemonade?
No, that's
It's
on
the
that
actual
album.
song?
It's called Shirt Off.
Huh.
He says, "I take my shirt off and all the hoes stop breathing."
Your impression fucking cracks me up.
That's pretty good, ain't it?
Yeah. You
Wait till you
sound
hear the song.
Okay.
That'll tell you. That song tells you why I have no respect for Gucci.
Yeah, well, get
If
this
he drops a
respect. He
mixtape
drops a
every other
mixtape
day,
every other day
I
in
will listen
2018.
to every single one of them.
You will.
Yeah.
Wow,
Shit
that's
would be
interesting.
dog shit.
When will these people learn that less could mean more?
Nah.
Yeah.
Give it to me, Gucci.
Give it to them. All right.
Gucci out here like handing out herpes like Usher.
In the form of an album.
Yeah, handing out mixtapes.
Yeah, that's funny. All right. A Taiwan record store may have leaked Pink and Eminem's upcoming collab. According to this claim, the song will be titled Revenge, and it will be on Pink's upcoming album, Beautiful Trauma. Are you pumped for this collab or sad that it's not on Eminem's album? He's yawning. Let it all out.
Sorry.
Get it all out, big
Getting
guy.
emotional.
I'm a little
What was the
butthurt.
question?
Are you pumped for this collab or
Yeah, pumped, yes.
or are you sad that it's not on Eminem's album?
Could care less. Those
I just
two,
want
those two,
some Eminem fucking news, please.
Those two put out good music, so
They do. Yeah, they do.
doesn't matter whose album it's on. I'm here for it.
Yeah, it'll be cool. They always do good shit together. And then our last little music tidbit, the Wu-Tang Clan are releasing a new album. The saga continues on October 13th. Do you think that this could be as successful as A Tribe Called Quest's
That's
latest
a really
album?
good question. I don't know. It depends.
Because I loved the Tribe's last
Yeah,
album.
it's
And
a really underappreciated album, I thought.
Yeah, and I'll say this. Wu-Tang was a little bit before my time, and like Biggie and Tupac, I went back and listened to them. I really haven't got the chance to do that for Wu-Tang Clan.
Yeah.
So I'm really hoping that this album is good enough
To make you
to have the critical
force
acclaim
you to go back.
be like, oh damn, these guys are fire, and I need to go back and listen. So
Yeah.
I hope it is up to that. So
The problem is, damn, I'm tired.
oh, we good, we good.
Old school rappers sometimes, man, they try to do that comeback and it just
Doesn't work.
it don't stick.
Yeah.
Also, one last music note: Travis Scott gonna be a daddy.
Hey, he gonna be a daddy to well, first of all,
Allegedly.
to Kylie.
Could be Tyga.
Have you yeah, so Tyga said that he may be the daddy.
Oh, I'm
But
here
did
for
you
this.
also hear
I'm
this
here for
conspiracy
this.
theory
Oh,
that
I'm
she
all the
may
way here
be
for this.
the surrogate for Kanye and Kim?
Beautiful. Also, we got Fat Kanye. Did you see that?
Yes.
Woo!
Fat Kanye
Bro,
about
let
to
me
drop
tell
some
you-
fire dad
Bro, let
raps.
me tell
baby.
you, there would be no better album than Fat Kanye album.
Fat Kanye
Let me
dad
tell you.
raps, baby. Get Jay-Z and Kanye back together with
Ooh,
that fat
get that
shit.
Dad bod
That's
album.
right, baby. Dad bods everywhere. Stand up. I'm standing. I have my belly hanging out,
Right.
yo.
Ooh, hey.
All right. So
hey.
that is the podcast for the day.
Got a little weird there at the end.
Got a little weird. We got deep in the middle. We
Yeah.
got a little goofy towards
We
the
had to-
end,
we
but
had
we got
to-
to switch it up
we
a
had to
little
mix
bit.
it up.
Exactly. All right. So I am Trey Alessio, the Dawn of Entertainment, alongside Brandon Ogden, the Consigliere. Everything you need to know in music, movies, TV, and sports. Please subscribe on iTunes. Please subscribe on YouTube. We're trying to pump up the YouTube. Come on. I actually have a very big project in the works. I'm not going to reveal it right now,
Ooh-wee.
but it's going to be video oriented, and you guys are going to love it. So Shout us out. We might have some merch coming on the way. That's in the works too. This is Are You Entertained? And we'll be back for more.
Stay safe from Usher.